Hey, what's up, Market Moose? Mike from the Moose on the Loose. Actually, last week I was the Moose on the road. Sorry about that, guys, but I had to take a break from the Moose. I was on a road trip, big road trip, to meet about 70 retirement loopers. So, members at Retirement Loop. So, we did 4 meetups in Ottawa, Toronto, Hamilton, and London. So, and I can tell you that it was the first time that I was in London, and I did not appreciate the roll back. Getting stuck between the lakes, big snowstorm, and all of that. So, yeah, like note to myself: do not do road trips in end of November. So, anyways, so for you guys that were there, it was amazing. Thank you for coming. We had a lot of fun. Talked about investing, talked about retiring as well, and then going back and entering into December, this is the moment where I start reviewing my portfolio. I love to take a few days off during the holidays, and the one thing that I love to do is to open my DSR Pro account. I combine all my accounts together, mine, my wife's, like the corporation, everything that has the same goal, and then I start reviewing what I have in my portfolio to make some changes. One key important here is I do not look at the stock price performance. I see investors being obsessed about, oh, what happened over the past 12 months? What happened over the past like 18 months? That's short-term returns. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Yes, you must understand what's going on, but really, what's the matter about 18 months performance when you invest for the next 50 years? It's not much, so you have to keep that into consideration. So step number one of my portfolio review is I look at my mandate. I look at my investment strategy as a whole. So number one, I want to be 100% invested in stocks at all times. So no cash, nothing, just stocks. That's me. Now, I'm not telling you that's what you should be doing. I'm just telling you what it is about for my portfolio. So 100% stocks, then focusing on dividend growers, so companies that has the ability to grow their dividend. I want to be 50% US, 50% Canadian. With this great balance, I not only invest in North America, but a lot of those companies in my portfolio also invest in Europe, do business in Asia and emerging markets. So overall, I'm already well covered if I focused in North American companies. So then once I identify my mandate, I will first check the asset allocation. So right now my asset allocation is exactly where I want it to be. So 100% in stocks. The asset allocation in terms of CAD versus USD, I'm at 53% on the Canadian stocks, 47% on the US one. So pretty close to 50-50. Not necessarily need something to make a modification here. So I'm all good. Next step is to look at the diversification by sector. And why is it so important? It's important because I don't want to get hit by an AI bubble having 75% of my stocks that are like semiconductors making chips. That does not make any sense for me. And every single bubble, every single crisis starts from something that is going very bad in a specific sector. You can think of the financial crisis when banks, especially in the US, had a hard time selling their subprime mortgages and the commercial papers over there. So banks got the most of the heat during the financial crisis of 2008. And then there's a domino effect on all the other industries. Tech bubble in 2000, same thing. So I want to be well diversified. So when I look at my portfolio in global view mode right now, I have 21% in the financial sectors, which is spread across several different types of industries. So I have asset manager with Brookfield. I have payment processor with Visa. I have Canadian banks with Royal Banks and National Bank. So I don't have to worry about too much. 21% is good. I try to not exceed 20%, but between 20 to 30, if I'm well diversified across different industries, I can live with that. The second largest sector is information technology at 20.6%. Once again, not a problem here. And I think I will actually do a few modifications to increase this this proportion going forward, maybe to 25%. We'll see how it goes. And all the other sectors that I have in my portfolio, I have like industrial at 13, I have consumer staples at 11, consumer discretionary at 9. So you see, like I'm a little bit of everywhere, investing in almost all sectors. So that's great. I have like two very small sectors, REITs at 2.5% because I have one position in Granite. I have 2% in healthcare, so with Lemaitre Vascular. So once again, those are not necessarily sectors that I spend a lot of time on and I want to invest in, but that's just a personal preference. It has nothing to do if it's good or bad. It's important that you know where you want to invest and how you feel comfortable. So looking at my portfolio at this point, I respect my mandate, I respect my strategy, I respect my sector allocation, so I don't have major moves here to make. However, now it's time to take a look at the stocks that I have in my portfolio. So that goes to the third level. So first level is strategy, second level is allocation. So we're talking about the asset, the currency, and the sector allocation, and then we move into stocks. So for stocks, I have currently 40 companies across all my portfolios. It goes to a little bit the limit that I like to set myself. So I like to be between 30 to 40. 40 is a little bit too much. The reason why I hit 40 this year is mostly because of my Smith maneuver and my other investment account where I add $1,000 on the YouTube channel. You can follow this one. Every month I add $1,000 and I had a new position, but that kind of like exceeded the number of stocks that I have in my portfolio to be comfortable. I mean, I'm not exceeding yet, but it's a little bit too much to my taste. So I will cut a few of them, and I'm gonna start with the smallest position because I have some of those, like for example, Nutrient and Canadian Tire are in my Smith Maneuver account, but they're nowhere else. So I will likely sell them to try to consolidate a little bit more into a smaller amount of companies to have a better grasp of every single of them. So that's the first one. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to look at the smaller positions, see if I want to keep it. If I want to keep it, it means that I need to increase that percentage to a equal weight, roughly position. So around like a 2.5-3% weight in the stock. And if I don't want to increase it to 2.5% short term, well, then I'm going to let it go and I'm going to invest in another company. I will also review some of the weaker rated stocks that I have in my portfolio. So I'm starting with the weaker rating stocks. So we have like the pro rating, the dividend safety score. So I'm going to look at all the ones, the twos. I don't have them I don't have any of them right now, but I do have some threes. So threes is kind of like it's an okay position, kind of like neutral. So I'm going to take a look at those and maybe going to decide to let some of them go. So the process here is to verify my investment thesis and then look at the financial metrics to see if my investment thesis, so the narrative, the story I tell myself, is still backed by numbers. If it's not backed by numbers for the past 2 years, and then we have weaker ratings. Now we're kind of like piling up reasons to sell. So as you can see, and those will likely be sold. And then I'm going to move that money to other companies that I'm a little bit more excited about. I told you this year that I want to build a full position in Dollarama. This is going well, actually. If I look at my DSI Pro report right now, where is Dollarama? It's above 1%. So we're getting there. It's not perfect yet. But yeah, so I'll be able to, it's at 1.1%. So I want to bring it up to 2.5. So again, it's going to be a great opportunity to do this during the holidays. Once I've done this, I will just press on the trade button. A lot of people want to wait for the perfect timing, wait for the perfect price, and they're not going to come up with stuff like this, like, Dollarama, it's a good price if you can buy it like at $175, but it's not a good price if you buy it at $182. I mean, that's based on your calculation, and your calculation are based on assumptions, and your assumptions are based on, your best guess, right? You can look at some analysts, you can do some projections, but it's all it is. Those are projections, assumptions, guesses. So it's not really something that is relevant in my opinion, because we could argue all day that the right price is $181.73 instead of $182, and no one will be right until we find out in the next few years if it was the right one or not. So to keep it simplified, I determine the stocks that I want to sell based on my investment rules, not on the stock performance. And then I'm going to buy because I have capital available. So I do have money in the account. I press the buy button. There you go. And then I can move on. Yes, of course, we all want to buy those stocks in the dip, right? Totally makes sense. Totally get it. Well, you know what? I bought Microsoft at the all-time high. And I don't regret it because I bought it at 75 bucks. So maybe I was right. Maybe I was wrong. I'll let you guess if it was a good move because it was greatly overvalued by most analysts. And it was at a all-time high. So definitely I should have waited until Microsoft hit 45 bucks or 50 bucks. And then it would have made a good investment decision, right? So if you look at the stock price, never happened. So I'm very glad to have it done this way. All right, Moose, that's enough for today. So in quick summary, if you want to have kind of some kind of a framework, if you want to look at your portfolio, start with your investment strategy to make sure that it's well defined. Then look at your allocations, so asset, sector, currency, and then look at your stocks, the number of stocks, the weak ratings, the smaller positions. Those are the ones that you should put a little bit more emphasis to it. Not necessarily selling all of them, but it will be a great start. And then if you have money, well then you need buying rules. Mine is super simple. I just buy. If you want to know how I build my entire buy rules, I do have that now in my newsletter. So you can go at moosemarkets.com/newsletter. You register for free, and then you're gonna get into my kind of like a free course where I send you an email every day telling you about my buying process. All right, Moose, that's enough for today. I hope that you will enjoy your day. We're going to talk again tomorrow. And until then, don't forget to stay invested.